everybody, how are you all doing today? Welcome back to Mama's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how I make my pepper soup. Pepper soup is one of our numerous soups from Nigeria. We have tons of them, and this soup is very good, very healing. When you have cold, you can drink it. When women put to bed, they drink it to clear their system. So I'm going to show you what I need, what you need to make this delicious soup. Okay, let's go. Here I'm going to use some goat meat. I'm going to be using Ehuru. This is Ehuru. I have already roasted this one, taking off the back, and I'm going to blend it. I'm using this pepper soup spice only because I'm missing one of the ingredients. If you have all your spices, you don't really need this. But if you don't have all the spices complete, then you might just need like a spoon of this to add to, to boost it up. So I have my Uda. I have 7 fingers of Uda. I have crayfish. This is washed and pounded in the mortar. I have my chopped onions. I'm going to be using some Knorr cubes, and here is grinded habanero pepper and onions, and of course we're going to use some salt and this leaf. This is basil. If you can't find inchangu, then it's better you use basil. So I'm going to use basil to make this delicious soup. So let's get in the kitchen and make this happen. So I poured all the meat inside the pot. I put a lot of water because we're making pepper soup. So I'm gonna let this boil and cook itself, and then we go from there. Okay, this meat has been boiling for about 10 minutes. I did not add my seasonings when I started because that's just the way I do my pepper soup. I don't add everything at the beginning. So the meat has been boiling on its own for about 10 minutes, and now I'm going to start adding some of my seasoning. So for salt, this is about a spoon of salt. And I'm going to add some of this pepper, not all now. Just going to add like half of it. I'll add the rest later on. This is just my style. You can cook it any other way, but this is just how I do mine. So I'm going to let it cook for another 10 minutes, and then I'll add other things. Guys, because goat meat takes a very long time to cook, I'm just giving this time. This has been boiling for about 15 minutes now, after 10 minutes after I added some of the pepper. So I'm going to add my chopped onions. And as usual, I'm not going to put everything. I'll put the rest at the end. I'm also going to add my crayfish now. And my Knorr cubes. I'm using 2 Knorr cubes, so it comes 2 in 1. So I'm using, let's say I'm using 4 now, because this is 2 from one wrap, and then I have 1 here. But it all depends on your taste. If you want more, you can add more. It all depends on what you want, but I wouldn't advise you to take too much of sodium, so just minimize the intake. So I'm just going to use this 4. And I'll let it cook for another 10 minutes. So now I'm going to add the rest of my pepper, the pepper and the grinded onions. And I'm going to put my spices. This is looking nice. With this spice, if you don't want to have any residue when you're eating it, then you can sieve it, and you can pour it in water and sieve it so you can take out the chaff. So there's not really much chaff here. I really blended this to powder. But some people, sometimes you use mortar, so then you have to sieve it. So I'm going to pour, this is my Ehuru and Otazi together. I'm going to pour them in. and I'll just let them cook for a good amount of time. Okay, this is almost ready. Just three more things to add. I'm putting the last of my onions. I'll tell you why I do this. I do this because I like the aroma that the onions give. I mean, at the end of the soup, just pour some chopped onions. It gives it a special aroma. To me, I don't know, but if you can try it and see, you might understand what I mean. So I put my onion, and I'm going to put the pepper soup spice. Like I told you, I don't really need it, but because I don't have one of the ingredients, so I'm just adding it. This is about a spoon of it. That's all you need, because you already have all the spices. If you put too much, it's going to taste somehow. So you just put all this, just 1 spoon. And at this time, the meat is already cooked. And one more thing I need to tip you is that when you're making pepper soup, try to get fatless goat meat, because if you get the one with fat, it's going to be full of oil. You cook it and then there'll be oil all over the soup. So if you don't want the oil there, make sure you buy the meat that has no fat in it. And lastly, I'm going to just chop in my vegetable. Just chop it in chunks. Like I told you, if you don't have what is it called, inchown, then you have to just use this. So I just chop it, and this is basil. You know, basil smells like inchown too, so it can go. Put it. You may leave it whole, but I like to chop it up, and then you give it a toss like this, and your soup is ready. I'm just gonna wait for this to cook for another 3 to 5 minutes before I serve it. But basically, this soup is ready, guys. It's ready. Let me taste it. So guys, my pepper soup is ready. This is it here. You can eat it with whatever you like, but pepper soup is always pepper soup. This is very tasty. Can you see? Can you see it? This is really nice. So this is how pepper soup is done. We're gonna cover it and just turn off the stove and eat it later on. So guys, this is the pepper soup, ready. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for your support. Please, if you have not subscribed, try to subscribe, like, and share. Have a good weekend. Bon appetit.